Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Welcome to my channel of today's episode of My Wednesday Comics, which is actually Thursday, so I'm late. But as some of you who might follow me on YouTube, in my community post, yesterday I posted that I wasn't able to stream just because something landed in my schedule right smack dab in the middle of when I'm available to do it. So as much as I hate pushing my Wednesday comics to another day, sometimes it happens, but that doesn't mean I don't pick up the comics. It just means I can't talk about them on the Wednesday, which it's really fun to do because it's kind of fresh on your mind. Literally just left the store, came back home, organize, and start talking about them. And oftentimes I haven't even looked at the books myself until the stream, or looked at it closely until the stream. So that's always fun. But yeah, yesterday I wasn't able to do it, and which was kind of a bummer. But you know, here we are, and I've done it before. I've moved it to Thursdays, even even Fridays. I usually try not to skip a week unless it's like there's no way, or I'm out of town or whatever. So anyway, here we are, My Wednesday Comics on a Thursday. We're just going to pretend it's a Wednesday. And just before I started the stream, some sort of construction's going on in some house nearby mine. So if you hear that construction noise kind of buzzing in the background, apologies. I can't I could stick my head out of the door and wave my old man fist and say, turn down the noise. But I can't. So hopefully it's not too distracting for you all. And yeah, so one thing I wanted to mention here quickly, new person in the chat. What's up from BJ Kicks channel? What's up, IGF? So good to see you. Excuse me. So good to see you pop up in the chat, and really glad that you are here. For those of you who don't know, BJ Kicks, he has a channel, a YouTube channel that I started following a few months ago called Comics Are Dope. And he also has a Discord channel that I'm a part of, even though I'm really actually not that active on Discord. But I really like his Discord channel in particular, just because there's just a lot of comic content on there, and people always posting stuff, and he has a little area where you can post links of your own content. And I've tried to do that when I remember, because again, I'm not that active on Discord. So I literally just did it, just posted like, hey, I'm going live now, and My Wednesday Comics. And I'm assuming that's where you saw the link, IGF. So that's so cool. I'm really good. I'm really glad to meet new people, and particularly through Discord, because Discord isn't my thing, hasn't been my thing. I know I need to get more familiar with it. People have told me to get more familiar with it. Probably advantageous to expanding my audience. But anyway, you just gave me a little boost, IGF, of leaning into Discord a little bit more, just because you showed up here, and I'm so glad you're here and joining us, and I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, or anybody else who's watching, please subscribe. It looks like we're at 520 subscribers, which is great. It always leaves a smile on my face anytime I get any new subscribers, and I don't lose any. So far, so good. But yeah, it's just been really fun just building this community, particularly on the backs of My Wednesday Comics, which is a weekly show where I talk about not only the comics that I pick up at the store, like the weekly books that I am interested in or just happen to find in the store. Sorry about this cough. Allergies, you guys know about it, or people who have been in my channel know about it. But I'm just going to eat a cough drop. Not only the books that I pick up on a weekly basis, like current books, but anything that I'll find that piques my interest, whether that's in the back issue boxes or graphic novels, or even stuff that's come in the mail. Excuse me. Blah. Even stuff that's come in the mail. And I have something particular today. I have an unboxing to do as well. So if you haven't noticed already in the chat, I started a poll. It looks like some of you guys are voting already. 4 votes in, asking how we should start this episode. So I do have an unboxing, which people tend to like to see that first. But I do have an unboxing, and then I also have new books. So vote in the poll. We'll give it a few more minutes here as I catch up and I say hey to everybody. By the way, this section I lovingly like to call Shoot the Fat, just because it's kind of like the intro, but also just the chance that I get to catch up with the chat and catch up with you guys all, just let you know what's going on in my life as far as comics and sometimes other stuff. But I've labeled this Shoot the Fat. We got to work a little bit more on that labeling, or I want to do a little like animated logo or something. So that's in the works. But anyway, this is Shoot the Fat time. So let me catch up in the chat. And IGF, man, or woman, I don't know, but you were first in the chat. So if you stick around long enough at the end credits of the show, I always put who's first in chat. And so you are first in chat, beat a lot of my regulars here, which is awesome. IGF said, I love that intro show showing the shop and the owner. Thanks for showing that. Yes, absolutely. Like I said in reply, I've done these comic trailers of stores that are stores that I've visited. Oftentimes, or most of the trailers I've done so far are local stores here in the Bay Area. But I've also done some trailers for stores I visited in other parts of California and the country. And I have a few in the queue that I just have not been able to edit. But I just love doing that because one of the big things that I love, other than just reading comics and collecting comics, is the comic store experience. Walking into the store, getting a vibe for the store, meeting the owners or the people behind the counter. And as you might know, or if you ever walked into a comic book store, each one is so different and has such a different culture or like feeling that you get when you walk in. They emphasize different things, whether that's current issues or back issues or whatever. It's just the whole experience. And it's really fun, the conversations that you can have with store owners. I oftentimes, that's the part that I love the most, not just getting my book, but just having a chance to chat with the owners about whatever it is in comics. So I love to promote that before my channel. That first trailer was Amazing Fantasy, which is one of the stores I regular every week, owned by a great guy by the name of Frank. And Frank watches my channel when he gets the chance, and he comments often. So it's awesome to like support his store in that way. One of the oldest comic book stores in San Francisco, standing in the same spot that it's been for a long, long time. And then the other store that I showed was Comics Experience, another one that I regularly frequent. And it's a great store as well. Another long-standing store in the city. And I'm quite lucky. I've said this a number of times, but I'm quite lucky that there are quite a few stores in this city. Oftentimes people have to travel quite, a distance just to find one store. So I'm really lucky that I have a bunch that I can frequent. So yeah, I like to rotate those trailers around before my show. What's up, Timmy Mello? Good seeing you, man.
And the Guardians are headed to October.
Hill chat, I'll probably only be around until the top of the hour because of a meeting. No problem. I'm grateful to see you here for whatever time we can get, Timmy Mello. Hello? Cranberry Landra says.
This is a cranberry full of power.
What's up, Cranberry? Cranberry was, speaking of Discord, Cranberry's pinged me a couple times on Discord. We were going back and forth about comics, and I was up late night reading some comics before Wednesday, before I even knew I couldn't do my Wednesday stream, Cranberry. So, but yeah, I was sometimes the middle of the night, or not the middle of the night, but the end of the night's the greatest time to just sit down and like catch up on my books, make sure that the unread pile goes down a little bit, because as you know, as comics come out every week and I keep buying them, that pile will just grow and grow and grow. It's a phenomenon with comic collectors never getting to read all your books. It's just the way that the cookie crumbles. But that's also what makes it fun. So I have multiple piles that I try and reduce during any given moment of the day, be it, certain graphic novels that I'm in the middle of. Like I was just during lunch, right before I started this stream, I was eating lunch and I was reading this book called The Nail, DC, The Nail, Justice League of America, The Nail by Alan Davis. Amazing art. And I've had a little bit of trouble getting into the story because there's just so many different plots going on. And it's like one of those big multi-universe, every character in DC's roster involved in this plot. So it's a little complicated, but there's some great moments. So I just said, oh, I feel like reading that during lunch. And then I'm reading some other stuff like right before I go to bed, or last night I was just catching up on comics that I was behind on from past weeks. So it's really good, but awesome seeing you, Cranberry. Here's another one of the regulars. What's up, Emo Trash? He shows up for the night I don't have off. Well, geez. You know what? That's not going to stop you. Damn it, Rocky, my class was canceled last night. It would have been perfect, but no. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's just kind of the way it goes. Fortunately, YouTube saves the shows. You can always go back and watch them. Emo Trash, that'll help my watch hours as well. For those of you who didn't catch me, another show that I do, I did it this past Monday as it's called Master Study. And I'm speaking to the people who are new to this channel. So I do a Master Study series where I try and recreate as best as I can, as close as possible, some comic book page by a comic legend who is a master in my mind. So this particular week, I'm doing a Frank Miller page from a Daredevil story that was in the Elektra Saga, a Daredevil issue that was in the Elektra Saga. And so this is like, 1980s Frank Miller, which is some of the best. And we started that page, started the penciling process of that on Monday. So you can go back and watch that episode. It's called Master Study Frank Miller Part 1. And I make a playlist for every single Master Study I do. So it's a whole library. Right now, we're already on we're only on, I think, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th Master Study I've done. Can you guys believe that? 7th Master Study. And so I like to make a playlist of each one of those studies so that people can go back and watch from beginning to end the whole process of producing those pages. So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to kind of bank that and make a library of that. And those get really good engagement because I think people love watching people draw on stream and in particular, like comic stuff, like people love watching that. And I'm trying to do that. What I love about doing that is I'm approaching those pages in a very traditional way. So pencil on paper, ink on paper, using brush to ink or pen nib or technical pens or whatever, just trying different techniques. So not only just copying the page, but also trying to understand the techniques that whichever one of these masters approached the page and why they did it. So those have been super informative for me and have just helped me learn more about creating comics, which I love. And obviously we'll go into my tool belt of when I create my own comic or when I get into creating my own comic. Emo Trash, weekly? You mean periodically? All right. I also told you to keep the allergies to yourself. Dang. Spitting the spice today. You should apologize for your allergies. I hold you personally responsible for them. Totally sincere. I mean, my wife asked me, she was like, are your allergies getting better? She asked me this morning, and they are. I mean, they weren't as bad as the beginning of the season, but it's still kind of that season. So I'm still taking, my regular Zyrtec to maintain it. But I always have this like itch at the back of my throat, just consistently have an itch at the back of my throat. So I'm coughing all the time, but it's okay. Got nasty drainage right now that I'm sure is going to only get worse. Oh, see? Now it's getting worse for Emo Trash, but nothing contagious, okay? Can't catch it through my stream. And it's just maintenance now until the allergy season ends. Jeffrey Beats is here from Down Under.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
Good seeing you, Jeffrey Beats. Guess I'll find food while he takes 3 to 5 minutes to taste to catch up. Fair. That's fair. John is here. What's up, John?
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
Hashtag blame emo. That's right. Can we make that trending? For those of you who are rolling in here, make sure you vote. We got 8 votes. Looks like unboxing is winning. Everybody likes the unboxing. It's exciting, right? Jeffrey Beats says, I like my comic book store too. The staff are wacky. We used to have a dozen stores in the 90s and now just 2. Yeah, I mean, we used to have more too. And I always hate saying that just because like we still have quite a few, but yeah, we used to have more too. But yeah, you're gonna get your interesting characters at comic book stores. I always laugh at the stereotypical comic book store owner from The Simpsons. You guys remember that guy? They're like, I can't even do it. Like, Captain America would never be able to, pick up Thor's hammer. Like that guy. Like he is so accurate. I've met that guy on multiple occasions. Like carbon copy of that guy. So the stereotypes are real. They come from truth. But I love them. I really love them. All their weirdness, I love them. Hello again to all those who are in Gothics. Oh, was she streaming? Excuse me. Jeez Louise. I apologize, guys. That's really obnoxious to have somebody coughing into a mic. 2% bogan today. I wonder if I should use that word again. 2% bogan. I was trying to harangue and harass Rocky, irritate him, and he's trying to settle down. You don't irritate, Cranberry. You don't irritate. What's the difference between harangue and harass? I'm sure you're going to tell me now. Cookie sounds good. Yes, the cookie crumbles. The cookies are good. I just discovered recently this Korean market opened up nearby where I am, and they sell these. I don't even know what the name of them are, but they're these like chocolate cookies, totally processed, but chocolate cookies that have like mochi flour in them. And so they're chewy. It's almost like a mixture of like a chocolate chip cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, like chocolate. The cookie part's chocolate as well, and a marshmallow when you bite into it. So addicting. And they're like, bite size. They're not a huge cookie. So yeah, you can just pop those in. Delicious. Love it. I'm really big on, I like my soft cookies more than like hard crunchy cookies. I'm really big on the soft, like chewy cookie. Cranberry Lander says the nail's good. A classic tale. It's got a lot of like talkity talk. Like it's taking me a while to even get where the plot is going. Like I get the motivations of the characters and they're like almost like each story that's going on with the characters. Like there's a part in it. Spoiler alert, plug your ears if you don't really want spoilers from the mail, but there's a part in where Batman is fighting Joker, and Joker basically takes, he captures Robin and Batgirl, and they show it off screen. They don't show it, but he does something to like mutilate them, and it traumatizes Batman. He kills them, and it traumatizes Batman. And, like you get the motivation there of like why Joker would do that and the torture. It's very like Killing Joke. But it's like the overall plot of like, where are we going? Like aliens. And then there's like stuff going on with the New Gods and stuff going on with the like Green Lantern Corps. Like it's a lot of plot that they're trying to cram in and just have you track the whole time. So I'm missing the through line right now. Maybe it'll come later, but I'm missing it. But I love Alan Davis's art a lot. I know, Cranberry, it's funny that you say the nail's good, and yet you were poo-pooing all over Alan Davis last we talked about him. But yeah, his artwork's great, top-notch in it. So it keeps me in. I love seeing him draw every single character from the DC universe. He's amazing and totally capable. And he's a good storyteller too. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for the plot to hook me, or the like underlying thread to hook me, but it's okay. It's still going. I'm hanging in there. I have not given up on it yet. And Alan Davis actually is the writer on it too. So, Rocky, have you admired Emo's new profile picture yet? I have not. Let's see. Let's look at this, Emo. Well, a new profile picture. Check that out. Did you draw that, Emo? That's awesome. That's really cool. Tell me more. Does that have anything to do with Epic the Musical, Emo? Looks like it could. Okay, let's see. The Nail. I read Wolverine number 8, Ultimate Wolverine number 4, and Uncanny number 13. Wow, you are on it, Jeffrey Beats. I don't think I picked up any of that. I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Wolverine with the mask and anything. Everybody always raving about all the Ultimate stuff that's going on right now. Hasn't totally hooked me yet. Uncanny, I fell off of Uncanny. Maybe after issue like 5 or 6. It started off strong for me and then kind of fell off. And then Wolverine 8. I don't even know what's in Wolverine 8. I did finish Wolverine Revenge. And it kind of ended like... It was okay. I shouldn't have picked up that series, but it was fun-ish. That was the Greg Capullo, Jonathan Hickman story. And it's just like gratuitous violence, pretty much. Like Wolverine's just killing everybody in it. Not much plot. Jeffrey Beat says, my mate just lent me 9 of the current Witchblade, so I'm really... Oh, okay, cool. I need to... I've never gotten into Witchblade or The Darkness. I've read some offshoots, some one-offs here and there, but I've never like sat down and read the regular series of those. So I really should. And I know there are so many different volumes and compilations that you can get right now for those. So yeah, I really need to get into those. I think I never got into them when they first came out just because they have that like horror aspect to it, which is hit or miss for me. Like I do like some... I'm not a big horror fan in general, but I think I was just like, man, it's all right. It's like, it wasn't totally... At least at the time, it wasn't capturing me. But who knows? I'm definitely more open now to go back and read it and try and get into the like Witchblade like mythos and darkness and all that kind of stuff. Take your time, Emo. You got at least 30 more minutes before Rocky gets here. You guys are just you guys are making me feel like I need to set a timer. Like I'm getting self-conscious now about the length of time it takes me to catch up. Who knows? We might have already lost IGF, our new friend IGF. He might have already gone out. He's like, oh my gosh, this guy just yappity yap. You've done a lot of master studies. Yeah, it's been fun. What a journey, huh? That will not stop me from blaming you. I wouldn't expect it, Emo Trash. You could do some Asian traditional med. China can't have everything for your allergies, Rocky. I just literally drank a Chinese soup that my wife made for lunch. Yeah, you could. I always thought like you could go to like an acupuncturist, which the idea of like needles or like hot needles being poked into you is not something I'm excited about. So, but I've heard people vouch by it. So who knows? Maybe it's not bad enough that like when these allergies first started, it was pretty bad. But now it's just kind of like, the cough. 100% Bogan would be a scary person. I don't know if I've ever met a 100% Bogan, but we'll be sure to avoid that. Traditional Asian medicine, whatever. Anyone betting if Comrade Sammy makes it before Rocky makes it to the end of the chat? Let's see. I've been that comic book guy from The Simpsons, and Gothics was streaming earlier, yes. I've been that comic book. What do you mean you've been that comic book guy, Cranberry? You are that comic guy. Chocolate. Yes, chocolate. Chocolate is good. Katie says, to chocolate too.
Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
No, a cup of tea.
Have you ever had chocolate tea, Katie. That never works. I don't think it's a good mix. There's been some weird things, weird teas I've seen. Somebody had what was it? It was like a maple cookie tea. There was a durian this wasn't tea, it was coffee, durian coffee. I don't know if any of you guys know about durian fruit. I know because my wife is from Singapore. But it is called the king of fruit. It is one of the most controversial fruits out there because of its smell and taste. And controversial not just for like people outside of Singapore, but even within Singapore, there's people that hate durian. But there's people that love it too. It's an acquired taste, acquired smell. It's strong. I've heard it described as stinky socks, onion, like rotting onion, like a gas leak, which I agree with all those things. It has a very pungent, distinctive smell, very strong, to the point where they don't allow it on public transportation or cabs, like taxis, or anywhere public, because once it gets into the air system, it's like it's over. And so yeah, it's and then for people to make a coffee out of that is like, all right. Didn't work. Cup of tea, hashtag cup of tea. That's right. Katie's bringing in the tea. Harangue is harassingly rant, and harass is to annoy persistently. There you go. There you go. Harassingly rant. I've seen you do that before, and harass is to annoy persistently. Yeah, you're not annoying, Cranberry Langers. You are, you're in it, man. You're in it. So that will always be supported in my mind, especially when it comes to comics. Rocky's pretty much unintentional ASMR, I'll tell you now, Katie. See ya, sleep well. And then my soup wouldn't just freaking open. Had to finally stab at it because the dang film would just peel off. I hate those things. I hate those like microwavable films or whatever. They can't be good. They got to be full of like cancer. They're the worst. Number of factors happening here. You got school, you got film that won't open on your soup. You got me coughing into the mic. It's all a mess. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969.
How do you say monkey in French?
Speak of the devil. How you been, man? I don't think I've seen you in a while. How have you been? I need to like go research some French books, bande dessinée to pull out, just to like, it's kind of like that, you remember in the old cartoons, the old Looney Tune cartoons, somebody would open up something or cook something that smelled really good, and like the hand would come out and kind of draw the person out. I need to do that. I need to get bande dessinée so that Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 comes out of the woodworks. But good seeing you, man. I hated The Art of the Nail. Here we go. Here comes the haranguing. I hated The Art of the Nail. Honestly, I pushed through for that, but I like the story. Well, we are two opposite sides of that coin. Not that I hate the story, but I definitely I'm in for the art. So, man, I can't believe Alan Davis. How can it? Neat new profile emo. That avatar was my stress painting and nothing to do with Epic. Awesome. It looks great, emo. Great job. I love it. Entirely your own thing. Awesome. John's asking, what is Epic? So Emo's talked about it a number of times on stream. It is called Epic the Musical. It's basically like a concept album that has a huge fan following and has gone viral. And somebody just wrote a musical, full-fledged musical, or the music to a musical, about the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey. So it's really good. It's like broken down into different albums, and it's really fascinating. Witchblade has had good arcs. Yeah. There's a lot of Witchblade. I'm amazed at how many volumes of the compilations are out there. That's partially what's like daunting of like, ooh, do I want to step into this? It's like me and people telling me I should watch Naruto. I'm like, that's a commitment. that's like years of your life right there. When people speak of Witchblade, Timmy Mello says, immediately think of Michael Turner. Yes, he would be. You know what? I think there was a point where Michael Turner was like the top of the top, and everybody was talking about how great of an artist he is. I was okay on Michael Turner. He wasn't my favorite. I mean, I thought he was great, but he wasn't my favorite. And but that he passed away so young, that's what made me go, oh man, like wow, that was shocking. So, but it was like that, and then he did. What was the one that was like the water one? Michael Turner did his own book. Was it Fathom? I think Fathom was it. There's all those titles, a lot of them that I get confused that came out of the Witchblade world. It was like Witchblade, there was like Ascension, Aphrodite 9 or something like that. Like all those like top cow titles. Fathom. Yeah, there's a bunch that I never like read. So I've got a lot to make up on that side. There's not much horror in Witchblade. Really? I thought it was all about horror. It was like a detective horror kind of thing, right? Epic the music. Oh, there we go. You do you. Don't worry about our teasing. Okay. Got Rocky finally listened to it a few weeks ago. He did. And you sent me like people do like fan animatics to that, which I know is a thing on YouTube. People doing like animatics to music or whatever. And there's a lot of them out there. Even I showed that one that you sent me, Emo, to my daughter, and she had never seen it too, which is surprising because she's really into it. Acupuncturists have been practicing. That's right. I believe it. I just don't like what they do, but I believe it. I don't question the accuracy or the effectiveness of acupuncture. Like, who am I to go against, millennia of success? No to chocolate tea. I agree. Thank you for confirming that, Katie, all the way from England. I've been morphing into that comic by more, I'll say. You need the like receding hairline and the ponytail, glasses, 5 o'clock shadow. Durian fruit is horrible. Katie doesn't like it. Durian fruit is smelly, Timmy Mello says. Yep. Durian smells like rotting cheese. I've heard that too. As far as I know, other people love it. So the amazing thing with durian is there's like different kinds. Like it's not just one thing. It's like some people like certain, not brands, but like qualities. And so when you go to like Asia, in particular, like Singapore, like, and you go look up or go to buy durian, like they have different sections of like, oh, you like the sweeter one, you can get that here, or you like the more bitter one, you can get that over here, or you like the texture is different from all of it. So there's such a wide range, and I think that's what's kind of amazing about it. But out of all the ranges, or all the fruit, all the types, I don't like it. I've tried, I really have, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. You could try Nutella in your tea, but I suspect you're right. Chocolate tea is just wrong. Yeah, it's weird. It's like too heavy for tea. Something about it. Too dark for tea. I don't know. I do enjoy mocha. Yeah, mocha's good. Chocolate and coffee is good. Chocolate and coffee is good. Tea, no. Random detail, when I first got to where I was like painting in the lighting for this avatar, I started to send you a screenshot for you to give me the Gordon Ramsay on it, but I decided I wasn't emotionally ready for it. Emo trash. The Gordon Ramsay? Like I'd throw pots around? What? Like I'd tear it up? Nah, I'm not like that. Shanthan Jetty Art is here. What is up? My brother. I think Rightly so, Shanth has the longest sound effect out of all the sound effects I've done. So I always feel bad that I'm talking over it. No, chicken broth, that's only if I was sick. I don't think chicken broth would really help my my allergies. How are you doing, Shanth? It's awesome seeing you. Shanth just posted a video. We could watch it. I'm going to do that. That would be fun. Okay, let me find it first. But Shanth posted a video of... all right, let me see if I can find it. Of Andy Smith, who's a comic book artist.
Old Spice writers.
Whoa! Who's a comic book artist, drawing Spring Ball. Isn't that awesome? Oh my gosh. So cool to see somebody else draw your character. So we can watch it here. It's really short, but it's awesome to watch. Okay, let me get through the ads here and then we can watch it. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for these ads to finish up, go check out Sean. Somebody drop in the link in the chat. Go check out Sean's book, Springball Terminal Monstrosity. It was one of the trailers I play in front of my streams, as long as that campaign's going to be alive. Support Sean and his book. He says it's like evil Spider-Man meets Evil Dead, which is awesome. I say awesome too much. I went back and watched an old stream and I was just like, I say awesome too much. But it's awesome. Evil Dead meets Spider-Man, Ditko, McFarlane, all the things that we loved in the 90s for comic books. Shanth is injecting this. This is a character. Springball is a character that he's been working on since we were in college or right after college. And he's released 2 books already, or 2 comics at it back in the early 2000s. And now he is relaunching Springball for the new day and age, updating it, just injecting all of his passion back into this character. And I cannot be more excited to see this book come to life. So go back his campaign. Okay, but the awesome thing is that Andy Smith, who is a veteran comic book artist, and I know that Sean's friends with him, he did a time-lapse drawing of himself drawing Springball. So let me publish this. Here we are. Okay, check this out. I don't want the sound to be way too loud, so otherwise we'll blow it out. But check this out. This is really fun. So cool. I mean, I know that's a thing, like, that's a whole YouTube thing where people draw other people's creations. That's something that I'm thinking of, like, getting into. I think it'll be fun. Who knows? Maybe I should do a time lapse of drawing Springball. But it'll just be me, like, erasing all the time. I love it when he starts drawing the ball, the tail ball. So cool, man. This must have been a trip for Sean. He's got some history with Andy Smith as far as their paths crossing in comics, just like Kismet kind of thing, you know, like. So it must be like mind-blowing for him to see him do this. Oh, I guess it's longer than I thought. It's still cool though. Look at him pulling out the French curves. There's a nib, it looks like he's inking with. Yeah, they're awesome. Here we go. Sean says it right here. Andy Smith drew the cover of his first professional job, Threshers. I have Threshers. I should pull that out. I can't do it right now because I'd have to go digging in my garage. But I should pull out your Threshers. Oh, do I have it here? Wait. I'll be right back. Let me see if I have it. Nah, I don't have it here. I'd have to go dig in the garage. I think that's still a nib, or is that a brush? I can't tell. I'd have to pause it. Oh, maybe that's a brush because it looks like wash. It's a multi-tool inking job. And he's adding the white. It's so rad. It's like that's the traditional process right there. So fun. I mean, it's always fun to see. It's always fun to see an artist do like time-lapse drawings. Yes, just to see the whole process, but to see them do it of my friend's character, it's just like, what? Check it out. Looks great. Pretty rad, isn't that rad? Man, so cool. Okay, wait. Let me catch up. Coming from music, where is MMO? Yeah, where is MMO? He must be busy. Sean says, no pizza live. Looking for movies I won't get hit for, but may do a stream. All right, Shanthan Jetty. Yeah, usually does a pizza live stream on Thursdays. So maybe he might live stream. Who knows? Coming from music, art with bad stories like good music with bad lyrics, bad art with good stories, bad music, but good lyrics. You got to have them both. I've heard Todd McFarlane say he can sell somebody... Oh, what was the quote? It's like... I totally forgot the quote. Something to the extent of like, if you give somebody like, he can. I can't remember. He took some like famous artist and said you could sell him anything, any story drawn by that artist, like Michelangelo. But if you take somebody who draws bad and you give them like Shakespeare story, you couldn't sell it. So his point being like, it's got to capture, for comics at least, I think he was talking about, it's got to capture you art-wise first and then story. But it's always that mix. It's got to like, those two have to walk hand in hand to really make something meaningful and something that people like go crazy over. So it's a balance. There she is. The ninja has awoken. Good morning. What in the... I don't know what time zone you are in, but it's not morning anymore, Comrade Sammy. I did not just wake up from a 2-hour nap. You can't prove anything. We know. Yeah, you'd never do such a thing. Comrade Sammy, betting if you'd show before Rocky reached the bottom. She did. She did. And thank you all for commenting so much so that you gave her time to wake up. Those are true friends right there. Yep, John 1. Fathom, yes. Oh man, I am behind. Fathom. Yeah, we're talking Fathom. I couldn't get into Fathom 2. Blue, right? Comrade Sammy noticed the new profile picture. Awesome. Stress painting. There we go. Fan Adam X are cool. John did win. Easy thing about Witchblade is that it has really well-defined arcs, so you can have a firm stopping point. All right, cool. I will have to check it out. I think I have to find where I can find the like volume 1 beginning to start that story. Fortunately, I put off folding clothes, take a nap, so that's what I must do now. It's all right. This will be a good stream for you to fold clothes while we're talking. Cranberry says, I have the receding hairline. My vision's been getting worse, and I have 5 o'clock shadow. I just shaved my head because of my baldness. There you go. Now you just need to grow the ponytail. You're all set, man. You're all set. Where's the lamb sauce? Oh my gosh. What does that mean? Shanth never sleeps, so the longest sound effects make sense. I don't want to torture the general public with sparse, lanky hair. It's an ugly... I needed another artist's opinion on it because I was struggling with parts of it, but I mostly figured it out on my own. It looks great, Emo. I mean, from what we can see in this tiny circle, it looks cool. It looks really cool. I like the glow, the like under lighting. It's nice. I can't... Oh, holding a potion there? Some sort of potion, right? Hail Shanth, I'm now backer number 325 for Spring Ball. Boo, yeah, Timmy Mello. Well done. Well done. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for supporting the Shanth man. I may or may not send it once the stream is over. All right, do it, Emo Trash. I'm here for it. If only there was a mod in the chat to drop a link. There we go. Shanth has no shame. He'll drop his own link. Dang it. Spring Ball Terminal monstrosity. Go back it. It's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Okay. Wow, he's fast, Mr. Monkey Boy saying. We all know Spring Ball is a self-insert for Shanth, and neither of them sleep, right? There's a little bit of Shanth in there. There definitely is a little bit of Shanth in there. K-pop Junkie's here. She's in lurk mode. No problem, K-pop. Andy's got skills, John says. No one has ever caught me sleeping. I think that's true. And I've actually traveled with Shanth before, and I don't remember him sleeping. That's creepy. That's creepy when you mention it. Shanth is a vampire confirmed? I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep some garlic in my pocket next time we meet, Shanth. Because now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen... No, I have seen your reflection in a mirror. I have. But I have not seen you sleep. So... You know what the downside about naps is? You wake up in the middle of the day feeling groggy and now you're going to be up late for late night streams. So if Shanth streams tonight, you're all set. You're going to be fresh. I feel like I need coffee. Oh man, you could. No joke, I woke up from my nap wondering what day it was, only to realize it was the same day. Sleep is for the weak, Cranberry Landry says. Shant will sleep when he's dead. That's the motto I live by. And now Rocky will pass away before our very eyes. Rocky needs to learn where the streaming mute button is. Did I not press it? Did I not press it? I thought I did. Do you think it's kind of an autobiography Shant's doing? Like he's been a vampire for a couple centuries? And now he's deciding to write an autobiography through Spring Mall? Maybe. Won't be able to sleep tonight, which means I'll take a nap tomorrow. Yes. Don't get into that. That's like trying to get over jet lag and not just kind of giving into it, which I've heard varying degrees of advice of jet lag, whether you should just follow your sleep cycle or fight against it and try and get into the sleep cycle of wherever the time zone you're in. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll catch with you guys later. Hopefully you'll finish early. Yeah, see you later, Timmy Mill. I'm sorry you came in here for comics and we just talked. Shant writes about Eldritch horrors because he knows of the other side through personal experience. He unlived there for a while. Oh my goodness. What I'm hearing is that Nosfero is an autobiography. Yes, both of them. Yes, Comrade Sammy, I did. You know how I'm going to remember that? That's the Comrade Sammy time zone, CST. That's how I'm going to remember now, from now on. I don't get the Gordon Ramsay reference, do I? Oh yeah, the glow part was hard because I only have one functioning eye at the moment. Oh my gosh, emo trash. Jeez, you paint better with one eye than I do with two, so there you go. The streaming mute button is when you're coughing or sneezing. Oh, yeah, but if I do that, then you guys wouldn't hear me. It would be like this all the time, which would be kind of annoying because I'd be coughing all the time. So we might do that. I'll just try and turn away, chicken wing it. We'll see. Garlic in your pocket helps not only prevent vampires from coming near you, but those who annoy you. It's also handy if you're just sick, or if you're cooking Italian later. You know what I mean? I learned by watching Frasier. John says. Oh, the mute button? Yeah, that's right. I love that show, Frasier. Okay, cool. I think I hit it. I finally hit the end of chat. I'm looking at this poll. 12 votes, 75%, clear winner, unboxing. So that's how we're going to start today. Let me end that poll. Wow, that was bad. That cough was bad. I heard it like peak in my ears. All right, cool. So let's get into the unboxing. We're done with shooting the fat, right, everybody? We're done with shooting the fat. What's it? We are an hour in already, and we haven't even talked about comics. Good night. Who is the program director here? Like, fire that dude. That's horrible. I'm sorry, everyone. All right, let's see. What am I doing? Oh, unboxing. Okay, cool. I know what this is because I saw the label and the return address on the label, but this is going to be a good one. This is a crowdfunded book. Indie creator. Let me make sure I didn't lose anything here. Here we go. Battle Brick Road #2. I've been waiting for this for a while. I mean, not like not like a long while. I feel like Eric Weathers, who's the creator of Battle Brick Road, he's really good at updating and like keeping people informed and just being on top of this campaign. Wow, I just realized I have a shadow here for my mic. That's weird. So yeah, I'm very excited to get issue 2. I had issue 1. This was one of the first, like, when I started getting into YouTube, this was one of the first books that I supported. And a lot of it has to do with, I love the Wizard of Oz story. I love that story a lot. And that's what this is based off of. It's a new take. And then also come to find out that Shanth was friends with Eric Weathers. And I watched some of the streams that Eric has been on and some of the streams he's put on. He seems like a really good dude. He letters a lot of books. He's a letterer, not only a letterer, but an artist as well, and the artist on this book. And so, yeah, it's been fun to kind of watch his path and just how he's done it and how he's put this whole campaign together. So I was kind of at the tail end of when I first joined YouTube and the whole comics, learning about comics, independent comics, the Comicsgate movement, all that kind of stuff. I was kind of at the tail end of this campaign, but picked it up. And then afterwards I was like, wow, I can't wait for the next one. So when he launched this, which was last year, definitely last year. Yeah, I was right on when he launched the campaign and he was kind of kicking it up again. I was really excited to back it. So here it is, Battlebrick Road 2. And Eric has popped into my chat sometimes too, so that's been awesome. It's really cool. Look at this sticker. That's neat. His character, Toto, is like this little orb military robot. So he made a sticker out of it, which not only a sticker, this is like a holographic sticker. Pretty awesome. And then here's all the accoutrement that he's included in here. Sticker for Battlebrick Road 1. That's kind of cool. This is the first time I've seen somebody do a print on what feels like a backing board. So that's neat. I've seen prints, like printed on like poster paper or thicker stock, but I know Shanth did a print on Nosfero. Did you print it on this kind of like cardstock like this? This feels like a backing board on a comic, which is kind of neat. I like that idea. And it's also like a satiny finish. I'm always so fascinated with the printing process and like the differences in that. And then it came here with some trading cards. To be honest, like when these campaigns launch, or so many different campaigns launch, I don't keep track of like more often than not, I don't keep track of like the extras that come with. So any kind of extras are always a bonus for me. I'm not like, oh, I gotta get that extra. Usually I'm just in for the book. Oh my gosh, that type is so tiny. Artwork by Eric Weathers. So he did this trading card of Toto with little like stats in the back. This looks like a Dan Lawless drawing. Yes, this is a Dan Lawless drawing. Excuse me, of the lion. I can pick out Dan Lawless's drawings. He's been on Shanth's stream another time. We've been on Shanth's stream together too. Nice dude, great artist. And then this is, my gosh, this is so tiny. Billy Baxo artwork of Tin Man. Neat. Fun. Trading cards are always kind of cool. Kind of cool little thing. Like remnants of like the 90s and getting extras in comics with the 90s to have these little trading cards. And also I think they're relatively like easy to, or affordable to print, I should say. I'm going to put this sticker here. Love the little like plastic case that comes with it too. All right, let's look at the book. Battlebrick Road 2. So it's kind of cool, the reimagining of Wizard of Oz that Eric and the writer, I believe his name's Zeb. Zeb came up with. That's cool. It's kind of crazy that Eric is both like talented letterer and an artist. It's crazy. What in the... Speak of the devil! What's up, Eric Weathers? Howdy do. Well, look at what we got here, Eric Weathers. I swear I didn't tell anybody that I was opening this on stream. You just must have felt it. Must have felt it. How exciting. Yes, we shot the fat. We shot the fat. Now we're going through this. Eric Letterperson is what Mr. Monkey Boy calls. Kenneth Rocafort did the Battle Brick Road 1 cover. Yes, this cover, which is amazing. Great cover. Kenneth Rocafort's work is also one that I've backed. I'm looking forward to his new book coming out, Groken. I backed the other ones. I'm really excited about this new one that's coming out. He's a phenomenal artist, so great cover on this this compilation of Battle Brick Road. I chose the Eric Weathers cover because I wanted the pure Eric Weathers love right here. And also, I don't know if you guys, you can see it here in the lighting. Signed, nice, gold, fancy. And maybe written in the back. Here it is. Just the credits. Colors by Farah Normaliza and Vinicius Townsend. So yeah, I love Eric and Zeb's rendition of these characters. Just kind of turn it on its head a little bit, adding a military war aspect to it, to characters that we know and love from the Wizard of Oz world. Scarecrow is awesome. He went from being like the dopiest, goofiest character from Wizard of Oz to being like the most like hardcore sniper, cut your throat character in Eric's book. It's great. Cool art. You can definitely tell Eric has leveled up. I'm not just saying this because he's in the chat right now. But Eric like leveled up in the artwork from Battle Brick Road 1 to this one. It's cool. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this is all digital. Eric can attest to that or not. But I believe this is all digital, which is great. I mean, I'm always blown away with the tools, the digital tools, and how traditional they look. Here we go. Heads flying off. You don't see that in the original Wizard of Oz. Here's the Tin Man. That's cool. That little red eye in the middle. These legs remind me of those, like, I think the runner, I can't remember, but he was like in the Special Olympics that had these like artificial legs that kind of have this like gazelle design to it. Cool. That's awesome. It's great print quality too. The colors look great. Really vibrant. Guns are referenced and on point. Look at that. That definitely has had to have been referenced. Aha, Here comes Lion. This is great. Really great. Great stuff. Guest appearance by Shelob. No, it's not Shelob. I mean, you want to make something bad and a villain. Just make it a giant spider. I mean, you just cannot. There's no way to make a spider a good guy. So that's instant villain right there in my book. Spiders. This is kind of cool, like lion here. It's like half lion, half man. Like literally half man, lion, half man, as opposed to just a werewolf looking guy, you know, or a lion man. What's the description? Man lion. But he's like half. That's great. That's a cool take. Fun. I feel like the colors have this definitely have this fantasy feel to it. So it's like it doesn't go full, like it still keeps you in the Wizard of Oz world with the colors, even though it's darker than what you would expect from the regular. I mean, the original Wizard of Oz story is actually pretty dark, but you know when you start reading something that has its basis in Wizard of Oz, you have a certain mindset of what you're going to be looking for. And I'd argue that Battle Brick Road really takes it in a different direction, but feels like the colors kind of keep you in that Wizard of Oz world, which is neat. These little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagons. I know that in the campaign when Eric launched the campaign, he was doing these special covers, which was crazy. I don't even know how he came up with it, but it was a special edition cover where they had different configurations of these pieces of the Yellow Brick Road on the cover, and in it were the reflections of the characters. But each cover was a unique cover, the way that he did it. So if you chose that option, which I didn't, you could get a unique cover that was only configured to your book. Some sort of weird math going on there. But anyway, it's cool because it's reflected here in the story. That's awesome. Man, a lot of work went into this. You can tell. Flying monkeys, but they're actually apes or gorillas. It's cool. Like the poppy field or something. Ugh. Goodness gracious. What happened here, Eric? What did you do to Dorothy? Dang. Ugh. You can do that. That's awesome. Bach. Dun, dun. The road ends, but the story continues. Battle Brick Road. No, I'm just kidding. Battle Brick Road 3. There you go. Very cool. Fan art. Entrance. Cool. Nice. First place winner. That's a cool lion. Very cool. All right then, Battle Brick Road. Eric Weathers is Sans Wrench. He is. I can do that for you, Eric Weathers. Wait, if I can find you. Okay, here we go. Do you want to be wrenched, Eric Weathers? We can do it. There you go. Then you can like post links or whatever. Eric Weathers now is... Oh, whoops. It's now a wrench. Welcome, Eric Weathers. How fitting that when we look at Battle Brick Road 2, one of the creators, Eric Weathers, gets wrenched. How about that? That is a cool print. In for a book, in for the extras. That's right. Dan Lawless is awesome. Yeah, he's a great artist. I'm going to pull a mark and put you on the... Oh, no. Comrade Sammy. A little Zeb will do you. It is kind of frightening to have me on a big screen, for sure. Great looking book. You know what? I agree, Eric Weathers. I agree. He spoiled the credits for me. Sorry. That's awesome, Jeffrey Beat says. Jeffrey Beat. So yeah, if anybody has not backed it, I'm pretty sure you can still get it. Go to Eric Weathers' site. Eric, you are a wrench now, so you can post the link. I believe it's battlebrickroad.com. But you can buy it directly from Eric. I think he has other campaigns on the different crowdfunding sites. I think he has a campaign, but I think the main one is on his website, battlebrickroad.com. So check it out. He has all sorts of cool stuff. He's got like a poster book. He's got because Shant did a drawing in the poster book too. He's got a record. I think I saw him post a video of him playing his vinyl where he created a soundtrack. I mean, that's the fun thing about independent comics is you can do whatever the heck you want as long as you find your audience to buy it. And it looks like Eric has, for sure. He's had some successful campaigns already in the bag. So Battle Brick Road is really impressive, and it seems like he's going to keep going with it. So go support the newly wrenched Eric Weathers. Emo Tresh says she's not completely blind. Just got the cataract coming back. Oh, no. Made it kind of hard to see what I was doing when I was doing the glowy stuff. Because it just looked like glare to me. Bummer, Emo Trash. Had to do it with one eye closed. Ugh. Eric's art did progress a lot from the first to the second. Yeah, I will attest to that for sure. Even at first glance, I haven't looked at this closely. This is the first time I'm looking at it. But you can tell that he leveled up for sure. It's great. Take care, mate of mine is having a cataract removal next month. Ugh, that does not sound fun. It did progress impressively, in my opinion, Eric Weathers. Thank you. Just saying. We're not kissing up to him just because he's sitting here, and it'd be awkward if we like pointed out the things that we didn't like and he was here. No way. No, it looks great, Eric. Well done. Well done, my friend. Big spoilers at the... Oh, sorry. Sorry. Nobody saw it. Nobody watches this stream, so they didn't see the spoilers at the end. Don't worry. Just needs to get the LASIK done whenever I get around to making that appointment. Sounds horrible, Emo Trash. I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through that. Public holiday here. I have just kicked the ball around my backyard with my son while listening to this. Oh, nice. Lion-O. Yes. Yes. Nice. Eric Weathers, I missed where to get this. Eric, you get it. Oh, here we go. Battlebrickroad.com. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 posted the link. Thank you very much. Original Wizard of Oz story is dark, right for a great movie series adaptation. Very good series. If somebody would just make a movie about Wizard of Oz, I mean, come on. Why hasn't anybody moved on that? Dorothy didn't need that anyway. I drew the first half on a Cintiq, second half on your iPad. What? That's messed up. That's messed up. That you can do that on the iPad. That's messed up. I disapprove. Great colors and pages. Great panel designs, layouts. Very good. Everybody's excited. Boo for Eric Weathers. Massively impressive. Wow, look at that. The love for Eric Weathers. Great job. Great job. Welcome to the Mod Squad. Your art is better than any Marvel book that I read last night. There you go. Wow, the love is coming for Eric Weathers. Might go get a snack. I'm actually sincere. It looks better. I don't think I would say it otherwise. Cranberry. Cranberry is not able to... He's not able to fluff it up. He's going to tell you like it is. Tell it like it is. Emo Trash says, I got the removal surgery in both eyes done almost 10 years ago now, I think. Yeah, that's tough. I hope that your eyes... it all works out for your eyes, because I know as an artist, those are important. Eyes are important. So I hope that works out and that you get some relief, Emo Trash, from that. Alrighty, thanks for the extras, Eric Weathers. I can't wait to dig into that and read that. I that definitely will require me to read the first book, and I believe you can still get this one too on Eric's website. But I'm gonna reread this one again, just so I love doing that whenever like new volumes come out, or there's some time between books. I like to reread from the beginning just so it's like fresh in my mind, because all of these are ending on like cliffhangers. So I got to remember what cliff I was hanging off of before I jump into the next one. So thank you so much, Eric. Great campaign. Congratulations on all the success. I know you did great on both of these campaigns, and I hope you have continued success with Battle Brick Road in the future. Well done. All righty. Now, on to... I didn't pick too many books up. Actually, that one was probably the most exciting this week. But here we go. Redcoat, number 11 from this week, came out. I was excited about this one. Redcoat's the one that I pick up regularly, as you guys know. This is a favorite of Emo Trash, right? Redcoat. And I love it. I think it's a well-done book. Great art, great story, fun tie-in to American history. Always with the brilliant double-page covers on these books by Brian Hitch. But the thing that was kind of cool that I was excited about this book coming out is they're introducing this new character, the Northerner, this dude. So I have a feeling that he will probably spin off into his own book in the Redcoat universe or the Ghost Machine universe. But that's just my hunch. Maybe because he has his own logo, and he's also mentioned in the timeline back here. So I have a feeling, maybe based on how he does in this cameo, that he will probably get his own book. So we'll see. But Redcoat's like cranking it out, and I think like they jump in time. They have jumped in time back and forth, but I think in this one they're focusing on the Civil War based on the Northerner and all that kind of stuff. Brian Hitch does not skimp on the art. I mean, there's a lot of pencil mileage that he puts into his books. Look, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of people that he's drawing. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of magic or like otherworldly aspect to the Northerner. My hunch is he's probably similar to Redcoat, where he might be like immortal or time traveling or something. And there he is. Let's see. I mean, like a book accurate show, Oz show, movie series, it'd be much darker, very adventure though. They did a TV series called, I want to say Tin Man of Oz, a long time ago. And it was a lot darker. It wasn't book accurate. I think it had like a sci-fi spin to it. But it's supposedly closer to the dark side of Oz. But yeah, I mean, Oz has been used so many times in different ways that I'd be curious to if they did something that was totally accurate to the books. I know Return to Oz, the movie Return to Oz, was a lot more accurate to the books, and that one was like freaky. That was a freaky, scary movie. Here we go, double gunning it. He must be from present times with these guns. Okay. Yeah, it must be some sort of time traveler from the future coming into the Civil War time. Interesting. Just talking about the money. And she's like, I never seen that money before. This is Jefferson Davis, which I think is after the time of the Civil War. So, curious. Great close-up. That is a lot of drawing. And then here comes our favorite lovable oaf, Redcoat. Yeah, there's just a lot of drawing in these, a lot of characters. Here they go. This is where they're meeting. Cool. That's kind of cool. Curious to see where this story goes. Can Simon and the Northerners stop fighting long enough to beat the Confederacy? It's not looking good. Cool. It's neat. I mean, I hear he is holding an Uzi. So yeah, definitely not of this time. They're doing a great job in Ghost Machine of like the long game for their stories. I find this across the board with all the stories so far. They're like, it feels like a natural progression to have this character introduced now. Here we are at issue 11, and this kind of character come in, cross paths with Redcoat, and potentially, if my guess is correct, get his own series. But it just feels really natural to do that kind of plot change right now, or plot shift. And that takes a lot of planning, right? There's a lot of comics out there that it just feels like Wolverine Revenge felt a little bit like this. I felt like, and Jonathan Hickman's a great writer, but I just felt like that book was like, they didn't really know where they were going, and they just kind of like just threw characters in there, and they just started fighting, and there wasn't any. I mean, I don't know how deep of a story you can go with a Wolverine Revenge story. Maybe that wasn't the point, but it didn't feel like a really thought out or thoughtful story, regardless if it's violent or about revenge. It just felt like, all right, here's a Colossus. Now he's fighting Colossus, and he cuts his head off. And here's a Sabretooth, and he's cutting his arm. Like, it just didn't have any meat to it. No pun intended. But I am so impressed with, and I credit this Jeff Johns, because he's kind of the head writer at Ghost Machine stuff. I really feel like stuff is like thought out, like they have a like multi-year arcs worked out and when they introduce new characters, where the plots go, how they intertwine with other stories. It's really, really well thought out. And I had a funny conversation with Brian at Comics Experience, the owner of Comics Experience, and we were talking about DSTLRY. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those books. I think I've showed one. I only have one DSTLRY book. Let me grab it. Where is it? Ah, here. So this was the first. This was the first DSTLRY book to come out, and this was in 2023 as a one shot. I can't remember if I looked at this on stream or not. I don't think I did. But so this is a new company that came out at the time, and these were all the creators that were tied to it. Huge creators. Brian Azzarello, Becky Cloonan, Francesco Francavilla, Jock, Joel Jones, huge creators. Eduardo Rizzo, Scott Snyder. The way that it was at least pitched was they all had a piece of the pie. It was kind of like a startup mentality. And so they were investors in their own company, and they would reap the rewards of as much as time they invested in it, they would reap the rewards of the sales of their books and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of this new model. And so there's a lot of hype around it. They made the very conscious decision to produce it in this specific format, which is like the Marvel graphic novels of old, or the graphic novel sizes of old. Right, so it's even actually a little bigger. This is Star Slammer, is one of the old Marvel graphic novels, but similar, like tabloid or tabloid size, 8.5 by 11, probably even bigger than 8.5 by 11. Oh no, 8.5 by 8.5 by 11. So this is like the size of Nosfero, like what Shant's producing. So it has a different feel, right? My point being, it has a different feel than a regular comic book. So there was a conscious decision of doing that. And then the kind of stories that they're telling are not any superhero stories. Very different, kind of psychological, some sci-fi, some horror, some romance, like all sorts of different genres, which at face value, that's great. It's a great idea. Their marketing has been really strong, and so this was the first book that they produced, and it was a one shot, just to give you a flavor and a taste of what kind of stories they would be making. So they've consistently come out with books every month from different creators. I don't think that there's a regular book. Usually they're books, if they are more than one issue, then they maybe are like 2 or 3 issues or something like that. But I asked, so I get their newsletter too. And after this first one shot, I've never really picked up another DSTLRY book. And a lot of it has to do with the kind of stories they're telling. For me, have never like grabbed me as like, oh, okay, I want to get that, or that's right up my alley. Maybe because they ride that line of horror, indie horror, that again doesn't appeal to me 100%. So I had this conversation with Brian at Comics Experience, and I was like, I said, I'm really curious because I see it on his racks. I get the newsletter every time a book comes out, and they're always doing all these promotions and just kind of these cool marketing things. And I said, how is DSTLRY doing? And he was like, horrible. And there was a few reasons that he brought up. He said, and horrible in a sense, like he's not selling that many DSTLRY books. And a few reasons. One, their price point. This book was $10. So the amount of, they're thicker than a regular comic book, hence, the cost. This was a one shot, so I'm sure it's probably a little bit more thicker than some of the regular DSTLRY books. But it's a lot. I think the average cost of DSTLRY books are like $7.99 or $8.99, something around that. And compared to a $3.99 or a $4.99 book from a regular comic. So there's that price point. Two, the size. He said a lot of people don't like DSTLRY because of the size and that they don't have any comic books boxes that they can fit them into. So it's really an awkward size. Makes sense, right? Especially for a regular book or for all of their books to be this format. And then the other reason was, I think they put out like hardcover versions. So this is like a soft cover, but they put out hardcovers to like compile after a few issues are done or compile certain things together. And he said those hardcovers are more expensive than if you had bought each individual issue and totaled up the price. So it's not like you get a deal where, oh, we're compiling 10 issues and it's actually the cost of 4. It's like they're compiling 10 issues and it's more expensive than if you bought each individual issue. So he was like, the economics of that don't make sense for a buyer. And so you feel a little bit gypped. And then I chimed in and I was like, and do you think it's also the stories that they're telling? Like, they're all kind of weird and abstract, not abstract, but like just off the beaten path a little bit than what you would expect from comics. And he was like, no, it has nothing to do that. Because he's like, and as I was sitting there checking out this book, Redcoat, I was at the cashier. He's like, you're buying a book about the Civil War, about like, so this has nothing to do with like genre or anything like that. And I was like, that's a fair point because Redcoat is not a superhero book by any stretch of the imagination. It is an American history kind of book with a twist, but it grabs me because the story is really well told and the characters are very much likable. And we came to that conclusion in this conversation that the more obstacles you put in place, or hurdles for somebody to jump to buy your thing that's not what they're expecting or that is out of their comfort zone, the more chances that you will lose pieces of your audience or potential audience, right? So it's like they have so many things kind of, for lack of a better term, going against them. And they're just kind of stacking them one after the other to the buyer. And so that's it's like, it's not a story you would expect. It's not a format you would expect. It's not a price you would expect. Like all those things kind of make it hard for them to gain some traction. So he said that the other thing that, and I'll end this about DSTLRY, the other thing he said was, I guess they have a lot of investment money, like tech or startup investment money. I don't know where it came from, but that was a huge thing. So they're just kind of, in his opinion, they're just kind of burning through that money, but they're not making huge amounts of profits off of their books. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long DSTLRY lasts. I'm waiting for them to kind of have a breakout book, but so far it's been like, and I haven't picked up anything other than this one shot from them. All right. This Redcoat is everywhere. Jim Lee picks this one up in his Instagram feed. Redcoat? Maybe Redcoat? I didn't get any indication that class was canceled tonight, so I assume that Zoom has fixed whatever issue it was having yesterday. Zoom was having an issue yesterday, though. I think that was globally, because I had a Zoom call that we were having trouble at the beginning. Cranking it out. What's up? Art and Times of Jay Ryan.
It's actually a really good sculpt.
Are you cranking out that Astro Boy? Are you working on that still? 1864 is when my ancestors came to Australia. Whoa. No kidding. This could be about you. It's Wednesday? Jason says. I have 2 more work days, not 1? No, we did not travel in time like Redcoat, Jason. I'm just late. I wasn't able to stream yesterday, so I moved it to Thursday. But there you go. I took one of your work days away. You're welcome. There's different kinds of greats or good jobs. There's good job in reference to how you used to do art. The average of all artists. And if I'm very impressed, among the best artists. He does have some fancy boots for the 1700s. That's right. Yeah, he's not of this time, even though he looks of it. I'm curious to know what his story is going to be. What is the gist with the Redcoat storyline? The gist is, so he was part of the British Army and got caught up in stumbled across some sort of like cult ritual that I believe it was led by, I think it was Ben Franklin. Anyway, there was this cult of like American leaders that started, they were like this underground cult, and he got caught up in it or stumbled across it, and in the process of trying to escape, got zapped and became immortal. And so his whole storyline is basically like, it's kind of like Quantum Leap or the Highlander a little bit. Like he can't die. He can die, but he kind of comes back to life in different time periods. So his character is very interesting because after a certain time, after he realizes he's immortal, he like, I can do anything. I can drink. I can sleep with anyone. I can do whatever, and it doesn't matter. So it's cool at the beginning, but then after a while, he just starts becoming apathetic a little bit, and he's just like, what's the point? I can't die. I'm just going to be living forever. So he's journeying through time, and the way that Jeff Johns is writing it is he crossed paths with some crucial characters in like real life characters in history. So one of his main sidekicks in the first arc was Albert Einstein as a kid. So that was kind of cool. They were going on these adventures and trying to solve things, and Albert Einstein was still a kid. And then eventually Albert Einstein was not immortal, so he grew up, became old, died, and Redcoat was still the same age, or his name's Simon Pure. So he's an immortal, and then there's another character, like his arch enemy, Benedict Arnold, is also an immortal. I can't remember how it was explained that he was immortal, but there's only a few immortal people in this world, and some of them are good, some of them bad, and he's trying to figure that out and trying to figure out what his purpose in life really is. And so it's Jeff Johns' way of weaving in American history into this supernatural tale with this kind of lovable like jerk who is Redcoat. Is the Norther's name Flashback? It should be. Aren't the Redcoats British? Yes, they are. They are. Is this a retelling of Black Knight with Martin Lawrence? Not quite. Exactly. There's the shorter summary right there. It's about a dude who's immortal. He follows American history. I forget the dude's name. It's Simon Pure. Unless his name is just Redcoat. Return to Oz was more book accurate. Yes. Yeah. It's scarier. He has modern weapons. Yes. And they're probably going to explain it. I have a feeling Northerner comes from like now or something. Who knows? It's cool. The cool thing they do too at the end is they give these little like character stat sheets a little bit, so you know like, oh, and they'll tell the history. But for him, most of it is unknown, so they're keeping us in the dark for a little bit longer with this character. Redcoat and Confederate. Yep, different wars. That's right. Ooh, is this thing on?
Yes! That's awesome!
It is on. Awesome one. Thank you so much for asking. Class has started. See you later, Emo Trash. Have a good class. I think she left because awesome one game. All right, I got strawberries. Chocolate is nice. I totally agree about Wolverine Revenge. It was a money grab. So sad with the end. Yeah, it just left you kind of flat at the end a little bit. Yeah, I got suckered into that one. I got suckered into that one and the red band version, which was probably $1 more each book for more violence. I mean, how can you go wrong with Greg Capullo and Jonathan Hickman? I thought that was a great combo, but it went wrong. Does it count as being healthy since it has strawberries in it? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. But Awesome One says strawberries host worm colonies, so I don't know about that. All right. At least America teaches its history. Australia doesn't cover much of our real history. Children know more about ancient Rome than what happened in our own backyard. I don't know if America teaches history that well. I'm learning more by reading Redcoat than I did in class. So there you go. No problem. I thought you were just emphatic with what you were saying, Jeffrey Beats, but no problem. Piece of the pie. Now I want pie, Rocky. Thanks. What is chocolate chess pie, John? History of Australia prisons to freedom, back to prisoners of the CCP. To freedom, back to... That doesn't sound good. Wait, selling your work and reaping the benefits of that work is a new model? Is a new model? I feel like this is a trick question, Jay. Selling your work and reaping the benefits. Was it something I said? Maybe. Selling your work and reaping the benefits. Oh, you're talking about DSTLRY. What I said about DSTLRY. No, the new model being like, it's like they almost took the image model of like, oh, you own their own rights and it's your own thing, to they are investors in this company. So I think as the company DSTLRY does well, they each get a percentage of that. It's not just about their book. It's about they get a percentage of they're like owners of the company. So they even have another aspect of DSTLRY. I don't think it's even mentioned in here, where they teamed up with like a toy designer, which was a really weird. It could be cool if the toys like had a story behind them or were connected to the comics. But they weren't. It was just a random art toy. So it was like, oh yeah, we do art toys too. And it was like, huh? Like, so it was odd messaging. Great cover. Cranberry Landers says, strawberries are tasteless. What are you talking about? They taste like strawberries. What is the profit? A miserable pile of sin. That's what I tell myself before I go to bed. Blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, pomegranate ones. What? Looks like some squid stuff there. Yes. Oh, we're talking about the DSTLRY. Yes. All right. I'm skipping ahead. I see some chocolate strawberry talk. Okay, it's getting me hungry now. Accessibility in regards to DSTLRY. Oh gosh, I'm really out. I'm coughing in. Yes, you drinking cat hair? I need to do part 2 of the Astro Boy. Yes, do it, Jay Ryan. Part 1 was too good. Don't know if you could top that, but I just want to see the toy come to life. I want you to like. There's like all sorts of like circuitry and batteries apparently in this model that he bought. I want to see those turn on. Comrade Sammy coming out of her nap. I'm always kind of Rocky, Jay Ryan says. That's right. Oh yeah, Good Friday's coming up. Happy Good Friday, everyone. For those of you who honor or recognize Good Friday, it's coming up. It's been Holy Week. And back. We were let go for early. Good behavior. Nice, Timmy Mello. Welcome back. Then he gets no. That's not Redcoat's. That's not Redcoat's story. Benedict Arnold is an immortal. He is. He also is. Yeah, and that was kind of a cool counterpoint to Redcoat. I can't remember what issue it was. Maybe like 3 or 4 where he was introduced. And he also kind of pops in and out of different points in American history, and he's like, but he has like bad motives, so he becomes like really rich and like tries to manipulate people. It's cool. It's a cool counterpoint to Redcoat. All right. We're talking about worms. I'm not going to get into worms. You guys know how I feel about worms. No, thank you. I feel like Distillery is an IP farm cash grab just to make a bunch of Netflix pitches. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how long they're going to be able to last. They need a hit. They need a hit to prove that what they built works. And I don't think they have done that yet. I see them in, I think one of the biggest books that they did was Jock. Jock did a story. And I almost picked it up, but I didn't even pick it up. And I think it's just, and the quality of his artwork is why it did well, or it seemed like it did well, but I don't even know anything about that story. Are silent missions a way not to pay letters? So funny you should say, and let's get to this silent mission. Here in the credits, they say, with deepest respect to Larry Hama, Steve Lealoa, and George Russos, who were the original team on the Silent Interlude, the Snake Eyes story that is an inspiration for these silent missions. But the funniest thing is the credit underneath that says, with deepest apologies to letterers everywhere, especially Pat Brousseau. So I thought that was funny because, yeah, they don't have to hire a letterer for these books. And I found out an interesting story on, I don't know if I read it in the back of this book or somewhere else when I was reading an article, but excuse me, originally the original Silent Interlude, the Snake Eyes Silent Interlude issue that Larry Hama drew and wrote was, it was a budget thing. They were running out of time, and they had to write a story, and they didn't have enough time or budget, and so they just like cut out the letterer, said, let's just do a silent issue so we don't have to spend time or money on letters for that book. And then, but I don't think they knew it was going to become the like iconic issue that it did. So that's kind of, it's awesome that that's part of the history of it, because that just goes to show like limitations. We oftentimes think of like limitations as like, oh geez, like if I only had, more money or more time and it could be like the greatest thing ever. But limitations are, how they say, necessity is the mother of invention or whatever. But limitations oftentimes, when put in front of the right creative team or creative force, can create magic. And that's what happened. And now look at, like, everybody talks about that issue in G.I. Joe. That's one issue that everybody or most people remember or grew up with. And then now they have these issues coming out. There's 5 of them, I found out, 5 in total, are inspired by that for the anniversary. And so, creating more stories, more work, more artwork for that. So it's all out of a situation where they're just like, we don't have enough time. This is like, let's make it silent. So I think that's great. That's really fun. So yeah, this is the 3rd issue of the Silent Missions book. The first one was Beachhead. The second one was Jinx. And I reviewed those on the last couple of weeks. They're coming out 1 a week, which is great. And I found out there's 5 total Did they show the 5 that are here? The next one is going to be Roadblock, which he's always a fun character. Body massage. He's always a fun character. And then the last one is Duke, I believe. So yeah, 2 more to go. So yeah, this is Spirit. I read some of the books that I was reading last night, trying to catch up on the books I've picked up in the last few weeks, were the 2 Silent Missions books. And I think Beachhead, for me right now, Beachhead was the strongest, just as far as storytelling and the kind of story they were telling, or how the story was told and the kind of story they were telling. Jinx was a little, the artwork was kind of cool. I know some of you guys in the chat when we were looking at it didn't like it. I thought the artwork was cool, but some of the storytelling was actually confusing when I sat down and actually read through it. So I was like, oh, all right. So it kind of left me with like a, not quite feeling it. And then I read this one last night. Even though I picked it up yesterday, I ended up reading this one too, because I was like, well, I'm reading all the Silent Missions book. And I felt like the storytelling was kind of weak in this one. It was confusing, almost to the point of confusing. And Leonardo Romero is a good artist. He actually spent some time doing designs on that Spider-Man Peter Parker animated series, which I don't like at all, to be honest. But I think he's a good artist. But I've never read any of his work, so I didn't know what kind of storyteller he was. This is something you'll hear me talk about over and over again, where I firmly believe, and why I love comics so much, is it's not just about how good you can render something or how good you can draw a cool character. For me, comics are so much, or the comic artists that I admire are comic artists who can draw really well and grab your attention and, draw in an exciting style or whatever that matches the story, but that they can also tell the story in a visual way, like that have like visual, like there's very key visual storytelling things that make a story flow better, that make you, build drama. There's rhythm, there's dynamics, all those kind of things. There's leading your eye. There's so much that goes into the art of storytelling, not just art. And in the comics that I read, I'm always looking at that stuff. And so knowing that Leonardo Romero is here, I was like, okay, cool. He's got a cool style. I'm excited to read it. And I just felt like some of the storytelling was like, what is going on? I can't even follow this. I don't even understand what. So since I already read this, let's see if I can find some spots on the fly as we're going through it that I can point out to you to be a little bit more specific of what I'm talking about. But like, okay, for example, let me zoom in here just so you guys can see a little better. Okay, so we have this setup here of something a little confusing what this is, but based on the next panel, okay, it's like a puddle in the ground. Then you see the dog step into the puddle. Okay, we're getting sense. There's like movement. All right, now we are explaining here. These wolves or foxes are running. Then we get the print and a shadow. And then something happens here. Don't know what. But it looks like that a bigger print was stomped on top of this smaller print. So I kind of get that. They have like hints of the smaller prints here next to the bigger print. Okay. So they're being chased by something big. And then, but in this tiny little panel here, they're showing this larger, what looks like a robot. Is this in focus? There, sorry, it's a little bit better in focus. This like robot, just in a tiny panel. So I feel like you're setting up like a big dramatic, they're being chased by something bigger than them. Now let's like add to the drama of like revealing what that is, but it's just squished in this tiny panel. So you're already taking away from me, and then we're expected to read. If you look closer here, it looks like there's like a silhouette of a fox, one of the foxes being manhandled by this robot. I don't know, but it's a lot to like expect us to pick up in such a tiny panel. And then it's funny because the angle of this panel and the angle of this, we don't get any sense of scale. So the camera's pretty close up to the footprints here, but then the camera's like zoomed out farther here, but it feels very similar in angle. So now I'm like, wait, are these tiny foxes? And like, how big is that hand? So what I'm getting at is like the sense of proportion is not clear just at this tiny panel. So for whatever reason, just at first glance, him trying to fit into these tiny panels, this whole story right here on this first page, I get it. He's trying to make it fast paced and feel like things are moving, but we get lost in our sense of scale, proportion, perspective, and it gets confusing immediately. And then what happens here? Like, I'm assuming one of the foxes gets slashed, but it's also like, did he just explode? Did something like shoot out of his body? Is he peeing blood? Like, what is going on? So again, not a good, clear image here. And a lot of stuff, because the panels are so tiny, a lot of stuff gets lost. And you have no idea where we are, what's going on. And so it's a bit confusing for me just on this first page. They're all great drawings of dogs and, you know, forest stuff, but really confusing. And then I feel like here, like, again, it's crammed in these tiny panels. The fox is running into the road and stops here, which should be like a dramatic moment of like, he only got ran over, but it holds the same weight as all of these panels because it's the same size. So you don't really get the drama there. And then next thing you know, Spirit, our main character, is holding that, I'm assuming, which was that fox, in a blanket. So that wasn't set up at all. It's all of a sudden like, oh, he's out here holding a blanket. Like, well, who's this guy and what's going on? And so a lot of confusion there. These feel better because they're, wider 9-panel sequence. It's a little bit clearer here. That Spirit is searching. He's like tracking, scouting. It's great. Okay, there's cool drawings here. He sees the big print. Confusing because the big print here has 4 fingers and a thumb on this side, right? And then you see it reflected here again with the shadow, 4 fingers and a thumb. But then here it's 5, like a paw print. Confusing. And then the bird comes. This is great drawing, great colors. Yeah, he had this whole thing with like a can of food and the bird. Like, I guess the bird is hounding him to give him a can of food, but it's not clear what is that. And like this angle of the bird holding the can of food was really difficult to read. Difficult to see what the bird's doing here with the can of food. So it's a bunch of stuff like that just made, and if you get enough of them like strung together and you get confused of like, what am I looking at? Where is it? You don't connect with the story. You don't connect with the character. And then you're just like, oh, okay. And that's kind of how I felt reading this. Even though there's some great drawings in here. I'm not the biggest fan of Spirit, but, you know, you can make him cool. Yeah, this was like, he got punched. Spirit gets punched. And the natural feeling, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. The direction of the action, he gets punched this way, but then he's flying this way. So that change in direction already like is disorienting. And this action of the character flying off the page takes your eye like this way, as opposed to leading you to go turn or read the next page. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, I'm reading this. What fly? And then you just like, oh, where am I? Oh, I'm supposed to be up here. And then like, wait, he flew through here and then he flew over here, or is like, did he get punched again? Like a little bit of confusion there. And then these rocks fall on him, and I'm assuming he's under this pile of rocks. The robot comes and then just like punches the rocks. So is he dead? And then where did this bird come from? I mean, I know where the bird is, but where did he come from? And all of a sudden he's pulling these wires out of where? Like, is this his head? Is this his chest? So didn't set up that properly. The bird gets punched away and falls down. And then, oh, there's Spirit. I thought he got punched to death just a couple panels ago. Like he survived that? He's in a hole? Right? So a little bit confusing. Then the robot takes the bird. Spirit's watching it through the hole in the rocks, and then he blanks out. Okay, I get it. Like that's kind of cool where the panel's getting smaller. And then he climbs out. He wakes up. He climbs out. Falls out. Like, why didn't the robot like kill him when he passed out? Who knows? Then he's sitting here. And his arm's hurting. And then he sees that there's a robot ape map here. Then what happens here? He's like staring at the thing, and then all of a sudden, wait, whose arm is this coming out of the rocks? And then all of a sudden, what the heck? Like there's a scope. And he's shooting at the robot. Like all of a sudden we're like expected to know how he got from here in pain on the rocks to, is this his arm pulling a gun out? So if you guys can't tell, I was like really confused already by this point. I kind of get what they're trying to do, but I got really confused. A lot of storytelling questions. And then something in writing. We're supposed to understand what's going on in here. He's reading. The bird's pissed off at him about the food. Then he puts the food there. And then all of a sudden, like, well, where did that fox come from? Like, is that the same fox from the beginning? And why did we need to end the story on the fox? Like, the end. So, yeah. So it's a little confusing. This Indian, also one says, is super red. So we plebes know he's an Indian. On the cover, he is. They toned it down on inside. What if the screen smells like in... okay, you guys talk about food. Necessity is the mother of invention. Yes, thank you. Pressure turns coal into diamonds. That's a good one. That's a good one too. Boss will give great words of wisdom, but seldom will he ever raise the wages. Ouch. Art and Times, J. Ryan says, I feel like editors are sorely lacking these days. Yep. There we go. They used to be impactful and keep people on their toes. Make sure the story and lore were upheld. That doesn't seem to hold true these days. I have to agree with you, J. Ryan. Who's the editor? Alex? Come on, Alex. Did you understand what was going on in this, Alex? Come on. I would have loved to see a story with Spirit. That's cool. Cool sketches here. But I would have loved to see a story with him that made me like go, oh, that's the coolest Spirit. Like, he's the coolest character. That's magic. You know, when you can take an obscure B-level character and write a really good story or draw a really good story with them and make them the coolest thing ever, that's, you know, that's what you want to do with these kind of one shots. And Spirit already has a lot outside of this story. Like he was never my favorite character. You know, I could see Beachhead and Jinx being somebody's favorite character just by the way they looked and their designs, kind of ninja-esque. But Spirit, you're like, all right, sure. And he helps animals. Wow, that's so sexy. So I would have loved to see him like make him like super cool in this, or like lean into that like nature tracker and you know, being a partner with the animals. Like I would have loved to see that. But instead it's like he just got this jerk bird that wants cans of food from him and then fighting a robot ape a little bit, which we don't really know what happened at the end. They even like showed like, oh, it's alive underneath there, but then it's dead at the end. Like he just shoots it in the face and kills it. Like that's not really taking care of the animals either. It's not like you rescued it. You just blew it in the brains, blew out its brains. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I hope the next story, Roadblock, will trend better for these silent missions, because it's a great idea. I love that they're coming out every week. I love the characters that they're picking to do it, but I would like to see them similar to the Beachhead issue. Whoa, how did I get so far up? What happened here? Sorry. What? Let me switch angles. What happened? Why did you jump so far ahead? That's strange. Sorry, that was weird. Is that the end of all? Do I have to quit out? I think I have to quit out of that camera. Give me 1 second, guys. But yeah, I hope that there we go. Weird. I hope that the next ones are better. Like this you can't hide behind words or like fancy story with these stories. There's no fancy story. It's like it's just all pure visual storytelling. So it takes a certain kind of artist to be able to handle that. And I think this guy, Leonardo Romero, is a great artist, but definitely had some issues with the storytelling choices he made. Alrighty. Okay, wait. What are we talking about? We're talking about something. You think the artist was just lazy in this G.I. Joe book? No. I don't think that at all. I mean, that's a lot of work to get into there. And again, great artist, great designer, just great artist. I just feel like he needs, whether that's an editor or just somebody who could have, guided the storytelling, the visual storytelling. It's a tough thing, on top of everything else of like, how do I draw a Jeep? How do I draw an eagle that looks believable? How do I draw a robot ape? On top of all that stuff, it's like, oh, and you have to tell a story. I like the spread with the horizon, some good panels in there, layouts. I can see error not great leading in the orientation. Where is MMO? Would have been a silent mission if Rocky didn't narrate the whole thing. Dang it. Need some MMO up in here. That's right. Where is that guy? There's some good pages or panels in there. Some good colors. Wow. Now you're Mr. Positive all of a sudden, huh? All of a sudden. Some people would interpret that last page as a spiritual experience. I don't know. Was it? I don't know what happened. It's weird. Yeah, it didn't teach me. I don't know what the progress of that character was at all in that. Like, what did I learn from about Spirit in this? Like, he's just got infinite amounts of canned food in his pocket. He likes animals. I already knew that at the beginning. So what are we learning here? We need better editors. That's what I think is the end goal here, or the end result. Timmy Mello agrees with Jeffrey Beats' comment. The Jinx one that I saw the other day looked awesome. The artwork in that one I like. That one was in. The artwork was interesting enough and like exciting enough for me, but there was some issues with the storytelling in that one too. And that one had like a clock ticking in it, so that it already has a built-in like story device to move you forward. But it got confusing. I was like, wait, what's going on here? What is Jinx doing? But the artwork in that one, I like the artwork in that one. Nor good proofreading, checking, or spelling, or grammar errors. Rocky, you wonder why we don't talk about the comics? Anytime we do, you get distracted. Just go back to talking about comics. It's okay. That's the beauty of what goes on here. Promiscuous Time Traveler. Hello. I will say the pleasant demeanor of your streams is very nice to have on in the background. I know I'm new here, but I've appreciated the past month. Thank you so much, Promiscuous Time Traveler. I appreciate you saying that. And pleasant demeanor of my streams, background noise, whatever it is. We enjoy your company here. Thank you. Hopefully you keep coming back. The cover for this is impressive. Great colors. They also don't really keep track of story errors, the lore, forgetting character traits, what's happening in their universes. I mean, I think they're supposed to be one-shots. I believe it was Jay and Shelby brought up previous stream about Jinx, that she is a character that has bad luck, which is great, right? If that's her, and forgive me for not knowing her backstory as well. But that's great, but they should really play that up in the story. And I think they tried to a little bit with the ending where the guy snipped the wrong wire and the bomb blew up, but they didn't, at least visually, they didn't, like, it missed something of the reader getting that. And it should be self-contained. If it's a one shot, as a reader, you gotta treat it as if, I know nothing about this character. And at the end of the story, I know everything about this that I need to know about this character. If you're banking on me like, oh, well, you should know that Jinx is a bad luck character and blah, 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 and then you don't say anything about it in the story, and then at the end you throw in something that I should have known, you're going to lose a lot of people and you're not going to gain a new audience, right? So that's the trick. I think you don't want to just pander to resetting or repeating yourself every issue. So you got to know who your audience is. But for one-shots, I think there's a little bit of a different expectation with your storytelling has got to be tight. And I think that first issue, Beachhead, was super tight. And the way it was told was great. Like, I didn't need to know anything about Beachhead. I just knew by the end of it, like, oh, he's cool and, like, he's capable of doing some really cool things. And he's also one of the good guys because he was taking care of these two orphans. And so, yeah, it was great. I think that one was out of the three, the best example so far. Yo, from the future past. Promiscuous Time Travel. I agree with John. We talk about miscellaneous things, so we still get attention from you, Rocky. All right. Is the truth of the matter is I'm not giving you guys enough attention? Is that what it is? I saw positive and less stellar stuff in there, like with most major books these days. Yeah, let's go. It's hard. Comics is hard. Anything is hard, and the expectations are high. And we can do this all day. We can just sit in front of that camera and like take apart something, but at the end of the day, it's part of it. It's part of it. You know, I just want the best Spirit story out there. And unfortunately, something was lacking here that didn't make it. So who knows if my opinion even makes sense or would make it better. But I feel like storytelling, if I had to give any advice to Leonardo or the editor or this team, it's like the storytelling in this could have been tightened up more to make it more of a engaging story. Editors are really dropping the ball. Yeah, the editor on this stream is really dropping the ball too. The wolf and eagle were always big time spiritual totems in native. Yeah. And they even came with his toy, right? That's how we knew they were a big part. I remember he had he definitely came with an eagle. Maybe he didn't come with a wolf. I thought maybe he did. But yeah, they're always kind of part of that. Speaking of which, East of West, they have a Native American influenced character in East of West. It's the sci-fi series by Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragotta, who is the artist on Absolute Batman. Jonathan Hickman was the writer on Wolverine Revenge. Look, it's all connecting. But they had a Native American inspired lore in that sci-fi world, which was really awesome. And they had a crow and a wolf. So yeah, that symbolism from Native Americans was really cool and really integrated into their story. Right, but then you'd expect other professionals and the readers to have more investment in how good the books are. Readability is like in the books too. I think it speaks to there being less care about the publisher's content from those in the industry and less investment from the readers for the books. Don't act like you don't enjoy the random stupid things we I love it. I absolutely love it. Sat down to eat, had 2 bites, and battery low. Please charge. Notice me, compliment me. Indians, American Indians. You hear that, Rocky? John is calling you bland, and I agree with it. Dang. All right. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something. Let's see. How should I do this? I'm going to do it like this first. I wasn't going to pick up this book. I think they're doing like I love Transformers. They've been first artist on Transformers. I picked this up since issue 1. First artist on this was Darren Warren Johnson, who is also the writer. Amazing, phenomenal, loved it. The next regular artist after him was Jorge Corona. Great artist. I was hesitant because I love Daniel Warren Johnson, but he's done a great job of like taking the reins and keeping up. There was another artist that jumped in there just for a filler. I believe this artist, Ludo Lullaby, is that how you pronounce their last name? Is just a filler artist, maybe for an issue or 2. And that's okay. That's fine. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Ludo. I think he did a book. I think he did the recent Battle Chasers that came out, which was the Joe Madureira book. I think he was the artist on it. I never picked up that series, but I bring that up because he has this like manga action anime kind of Joe Mad style to his stuff. It's cool. But I wasn't going to pick up this book because I'm just reevaluating and kind of reassessing what of my regular books I'm going to keep picking up and what will I start just reading in trades. Transformers is one of those. They just hit the end of one story arc, so I might switch to like, I don't know if I'll pick this up regularly from here on out. And then this issue came out. So like I said, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a different artist. His artwork's good. It's not like, oh, it's like amazing. Like, it was like, okay, it's cool. But I was like, do I need to like pick up this new story and read it? Not necessarily. So why is this book in front of me right now? This will be the last book I talk about. Why is this book in front of me right now? Well, oh, this is where I saw it. These are the next two silent missions coming out. Well, I picked up this book. I was in the store, visiting the store with my buddy, Alan Lau, who's been in the chat before. And he was like, you should get this book. And I was like, why? He was like, because it's a sketch cover. So I had been talking with him a little bit of an idea, but I think one of the things I might be doing in the near future is some sketch covers. So it'll be kind of like this, like, combo of, you know, my love for comics and comics that are coming out here, and also like master studies where I'm like drawing on stream. But this is going to be like more of like, oh, now I'll be drawing. This may kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier in the stream of like people drawing other people's characters, like Spring Ball, like how that Andy Smith drew Spring Ball or whatever like that. And I was like, that would be cool. I know Jay Ryan, Art and Times of Jay Ryan, if you're still in the stream, I know Jay Ryan does a lot of cool, awesome sketch covers. I know Shelby does sketch covers too. So I thought, man, that might be kind of cool to try, dip my toe in trying to do a sketch cover. I've never done a sketch cover before. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay. And my friend Alan was like, do it. So I also thought that might be kind of a cool thing to have to at least start the process of what that might look like, because we're getting closer to monetizing on this channel. And what does it mean to be a subscriber? Should I set up a Patreon? Should I set up a newsletter? All these questions are in my mind. They're kind of back of house issues that I deal with on top of running this stream. But just as this channel grows and as I connect more with you guys as an audience, working on my own comic stuff, eventually wanting to produce my own book or whatever, I thought this might be kind of a cool thing to dip my toe in and as an artist and see how it turns out. And is there a market out there? So many artists out there do really well with commissions or sketch covers stuff. I've never been one of those artists to even try it. So anyway, it just took my friend Alan's a little bit of like a elbow nudge to put that seed in my head. And so yeah, this is my very first quote unquote sketch cover that I bought. It's kind of bent up too. What a lousy first one to buy, but that's okay. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna figure out drawing some sort of Transformers sketch cover, which could be awesome, which would be really fun. But who knows where this will go? Who knows how this all fits in with the rest of the things that I'm doing? It's just like one more thing to add on my plate, but I think it could be really fun. It could be something that I do on stream that's different from the master study, but also will be something that could be, you know, sellable to people in the future. So stay tuned. I'll be keeping my eyes out. I don't know how people normally do it, whether comic book people just see the sketch covers on the rack at stores and they just bank them, like they just buy them and then bank them for later, or do they order them separately? I don't know. Art and Times of Jay Ryan, what do you do? So yeah, this all new to me, but this was the first one that I saw on the rack and it just made me think, should I do that? And so here we are. That's why I have Transformers 19. Not that I was picking up this book, but because it was the sketch cover version of this book. What do you guys say to that? That is one gnarly cover, Timmy Mello says. Why is a sketch cover a good thing? You didn't get a sketch. No, I would do the sketch, John. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. I would draw on this. So it's cool because these sketch covers are pretty heavy stock. It's almost similar to the Bristol that I do the master studies on. It's a thick stock. And then inside they have the actual cover of the book. So what people do is they'll draw in here. They'll draw an original illustration on here, and then they'll sell it, or they'll, give it away or whatever. This one, arguably, I know Shelby, at least I've seen streams where Shelby's like pretty particular at how perfect. And this one's kind of beat up already in the corners, but it doesn't matter. It'll just be my first trial run. Cranberry Langer says, that's a great idea, Rocky. Alan, Rocky, very good. All right, cool. We'll try it out. Say what you want. We'll die on the hill of saying winter greens lifesavers are superior to their counterparts, even the fruity ones. Cranberry Langer says, I think that sketch cover is a good step out into the comics industry. You expanding your awesome, Cranberry. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm agreeing with you, Comrade Sammy. I agree that the winter green lifesavers are better, or a better quality than the fruity ones. I just prefer, I just prefer the fruity ones, unless I'm tired, than minty. No cover artist, no letterist. What's next? No ink? That's right. Art and Times of Darren. Here you go. Here's the seasoned veteran. Sketch covers are fun, but the paper quality can be a mixed bag. Okay. I mean, you don't know until you try, right? This one feels pretty nice. Nice stock. I've seen some books that have really, really thin, like white covers, but I think those are just to protect the like special covers underneath. I don't think those are meant for sketch covers, but this one feels pretty good. Feels like a thicker stock. It's not glossy. It's matte. So yeah, we'll see. And I also have to find, this one I found at Frank's shop, Amazing Fantasy. So I have to find stores that carry. He says he orders them, but they might sell out quick because I know a lot of people buy them quick. So maybe I'll have to venture to another store that might carry more sketch covers in stock. Jeffrey Beats says, your idea sounds great. Awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. What would we say about Rocky doing sketch covers in the comics field, stepping into comics, Comrade Sammy? That's what we're talking about, Comrade Sammy. I could draw a winter green mint on it. I could draw a laundry, but I think drawing a Transformers would be a lot more fun. We'll see. It's a little nerve-wracking. We'll see. It'll be fun. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. That was a lot. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Here, I'll end this with a poll. Everybody that's still here, says 12 people watching on YouTube. I'm going to start a poll. This is how we're going to end it. I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to say, sketch covers are all right, there we go. Starting a poll. Are sketch covers a good idea for this channel? Yes, no, or winter green mints? I know which one's going to win. I know it. John says, how far did you get with your master study, Rocky? I just got that first penciling blocking in. We will probably have one more penciling session. So I'll do one more stream probably where I'll finish tightening up the pencils, and then we'll start inks. So I don't know. I don't think I can do a master study stream tomorrow. I don't think so. So it might be coming early next week, the next master study. And then yeah, after that second stream of penciling, we'll start hitting the inks on that one. Excuse me. Whoa, my voice went crazy. Yeah, we'll start hitting inks on that one. So yeah, that one's gonna be good. It's really exciting. The first stream we did, for those of you who haven't watched, you can go back and watch it. It's a Frank Miller master study stream. The first stream we did, we blocked in quite a bit. As I was going through it, I didn't realize there's some complicated panels in there, but I didn't realize how fast it was to block in the imagery there. So it's pretty awesome. I think that cover would be refreshing. Sliding in here, I totally get it. Sounds sketchy. I think it'd be sweet. Cranberry Langes is really tempted to select the wintergreen mints. 7 votes right now. We got 86% says yes. 14% says wintergreen mints. Who picked that one? Yeah, do what you want as long as it doesn't hinder my ability to be a nuisance in your chat. Art Times J. Ryan says, I want to see Rocky struggle with what to put on them. Yeah, it's going to be a real problem. It is. I mean, at least Transformers. I mean, at least there's a subject matter. You know who does great sketch covers? That's not in this chat, but that I follow on X is Eric Canetti. That guy's his sketch covers are unbelievable. So I'm not going to look at those because that would frighten me. That level of ability frightens me. Art and Times of J. Ryan obviously has done many sketch covers, and Shelby as well. Anybody who can accomplish those kind of things, amazing, very inspiring. So yeah, we'll see. Apparently the poll says we should do it. We're doing it. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll figure out how to work that into this and all the things that we're doing without like taking away from what we're already working on. But yeah, that's a new aspect. And I think it will, however that pans out, I think that will also be tied to subscriptions or whatever, however this channel continues to grow. I feel that would be a cool like added bonus to it. So Jeffrey Beats says, I gotta go, mate. Hooroo from Sunny Minjin. Thanks for the chat. Thank you, Jeffrey Beats. Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing. And it's so good to see you. We'll see you again next time. I am gonna wrap this up, and Eric Canetti's next level. He's amazing. The not only the level of ability, but the speed at which he outputs is, yeah. Those two combined is like deadly. It's really deadly. All right, guys. That's it. Wintergreen didn't win. No, it didn't. And you were the one who voted for it, weren't you, Comrade Sammy? Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for joining me. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit the subscribe. I will see you guys around next time. Next time will probably be a master study, the Frank Miller master study, continuing that. That'll be fun. And yeah, it's awesome. Go read some comics. Have a great rest of your Thursday. You got one more day in this week. And I'll catch you around soon. Thanks a lot. See you later.